Okay. We'll call the meeting to order. Note the presence of a quorum with all commissioners present. I'd invite you to please stand. We'll begin with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you'd remain standing, please, we'd like to take a brief moment of silence for the passing of Senator Bruce Anderson. Thank you. Welcome guest, staff, visitors present with us here this morning. First item would be approval of the agenda, to which we have one add-on. Item 10C, Rough Grouse Society Gambling Permit. Mark, anything else?
No, nothing else, Chair.
Entertain a motion.
Move the agenda as amended.
Commissioner LaVisca moves the agenda as amended. Support.
Support.
Motion supported by Commissioner Westerlund. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Agenda is approved as amended. And thank you, Paula, for filling in for April today.
My pleasure.
Citizens' public comment. Are there any comments from visitors? Second call comments, requests from visitors. Third, last call, public comment, citizens' public comment. If not, we'll proceed to the consent agenda. Barring questions, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
A motion on the floor by Commissioner Westerlund, support.
I'll support.
Commissioner Carney supports. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. On to Land Commissioner. Welcome, DJ.
Yeah, good morning. All right. Well, I had a couple things here first. We'll do the I believe the Jacobson Campground one is first. And this is one of the four campgrounds that we manage, that the land department manages. Up in Jacobson, it has direct access to the Raby line. There's also a boat access onto the Mississippi River at this campground. This campground is also the one that has two of the camper cabins on it, which are quite popular. So over the years, Mother Nature has kind of taken control of the shoreline. The campground actually sits on an outside bend of the Mississippi River, and it gets a lot of volume and a lot of velocity. And over the years, we've actually had quite a bit of erosion. We did many years ago, installed a safety fence to keep campers and visitors from getting too close to that edge. It's about a 30-foot drop on that edge down to the Mississippi River. This spring, we had an enormous amount of slumping, and it actually got to the point where, from a safety standpoint, we decided that we had two campsites that we were actually going to shut down. So we went in there and we moved the fence. The fence had actually fallen into the river. We had moved the fence and pulled the picnic tables out, pulled the fire grates out, and we're no longer taking reservations at those sites. So we started thinking, we thought, well, we'd really like to replace those somewhere. And of course, we have the room to, but started looking at it and looking at the expenses of the grubbing, stumps and clearing everything, and new picnic tables, new fire pits, new grills, everything like that. We kind of looked at it and thought, well, the campground, not all that often is it at capacity. Do we really need to replace these sites? And happened to talk with Tim Terrell. Long story short, happened to talk with Tim Terrell, and he said, hey, Mississippi Headwaters Board would possibly have some money for you. So we started penciling out some expenses. and came up with a cost of about $10,500 for to actually get these put in two new campsites, to get the stumps grubbed out and to get the site leveled, to get a camping pad there, to get a fire pit in and a grill and the picnic table. So we went to the Headwaters Board, and they initially tabled the request, having us look at maybe trying to fix the erosion first, instead of moving the campsites or moving the campsites, but also what can we do to address the erosion. And the site was so significant that anything short of a $500,000 or $1 million streamline or bank restoration project, which may or may not work. So in the end, we ended up looking at fixing the erosion. At this point, we're at the point where we're just going to let Mother Nature take its course, and we're going to move the two campsites. So we ended up receiving $10,500 from the Mississippi Headwaters Board to relocate those two campsites. So this request would be to adopt a resolution accepting that money for the installation and the development of two new campsites at the Jacobson Campground.
You've heard the request. Do you have a sample example of the proposed resolution in front of you? Barring any questions, is there a motion?
I've got a question,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner.
Just out of curiosity, when, at the forestry meeting the other night,
Yep.
DJ, when you handed out the, list of where we were financially for each one of the campsites.
Yep.
With them two campsites closed, how much is the revenue down?
I don't think the campground was ever full. So with those two sites down, I don't think there would have been any revenue that would have been lost.
But with them open,
With them open, yeah, I don't think really much, if any. Those two sites were right on the river. They were two of the more popular sites that we have, but we never had the point where we were actually turning people away, where people had called to make a reservation and the campground was full. So.
I was just curious.
Yep. No, good question. And if it would have been Aitkin or Berglund, we would have had lost revenue with those closed campsites.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, up in that spot, no.
Further questions? Motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion accepting Mississippi Headwaters donation of $10,500 by Commissioner Sample. Support?
I'll support.
That motion supported by Commissioner Carney. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I will make one comment about it. I do sit on the Mississippi Headwater Board. The first go around, it didn't get approved, did it?
No. It got tabled. It didn't get shut down.
Well, because there was some discussion of wanting to know, is there any way to repair it? And DJ was explaining to the board that the cost was, what would it have been just
It would have been
Crazy.
probably in that $400,000 to $500,000 cost.
easier just to
Should've had a tour.
relocate two sites.
It's a beautiful place to
It is,
camp.
it's really nice.
Yeah, yep.
But thank you, DJ, for your diligence on that.
Yes, yep.
Any further discussion? Call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Donation is happily accepted.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank
Thanks,
you.
DJ.
Yep.
If they got more, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Long Lake.
Yeah, so the next item was just, see if Chris can get the presentation pulled up. Did you get it in advance?
I'm working on it right now.
All right. Just for informational only, just going over a couple things with Long Lake Conservation Center. I know there's been some discussions and some talks about some of the scholarships and of course the outdoor school for all legislation getting passed and LCCMR grants, and then of course it's budget season. So I thought I would take just a few minutes here to go over some of the highlights with Long Lake Conservation Center. some of the sources of revenue, the money that actually comes into Long Lake, where does that come from? Where does it go? And then just a little bit on the scholarships. What exactly is a scholarship? How does it work for the schools? How does it work for the students? Where are the scholarship? Where is that money coming from? And then, like I said, a little bit on the 2026 budget. So the title there, Minnesota's oldest environmental learning center. I think we all knew that. What year did it start?
Oh, gosh. 1812? No.
1812. 1963 was when it started. 64, one of the first classes that came there. And of course, it was a lot different. A lot different now. There's land that's been added to the campus, and the curriculum is obviously quite different than what it was back in 1964. But
DJ, just a peripheral question. Was it the Rotary Club that donated?
Kiwanis.
Kiwanis, okay.
Yep, the Kiwanis made an original donation of 160 acres, I believe.
Yeah.
And then there were some tax forfeited land near or adjacent to that got changed from tax forfeited to fee land for the county. And then there were some nearby landowners that actually donated their land, which brings us up to the current acreage, 720 acres now. But yep, the original was 160 from the Kiwanis.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the sources of revenue, I know there's been conversations before. Someone's, asked, well, what does that go in towards? Is that in a maintenance budget or is that in an education budget? It's all in one budget. So everything goes into the operations. It's a Fund 19 account. Now we do have, there's 4 different kind of sub accounts. We have our admin, there's education, there's food services and maintenance. But the way the budget is set up, you have income, you have expenses, and then you have a bottom line. So everything is all into one of those. So, and as we know, the bread and butter is the school groups, and that was one of the original intents. Was the environmental education. The typical stay is a 3-day, 2-night stay. With the school groups, they'll come in on a Monday, leave on a Wednesday. Another group will come in on a Wednesday, leave on a Friday. So that is the primary source of operating revenue. The summer camps are probably the next, with example like the astronomy camps that come in the summer, the adventure camps, the four-corn camps, that type of stuff. So that's typically in the summer. And then we have our non-school groups. These kind of fill in any empty dates or whenever Long Lake can get them in the calendar. And that could be Minnesota Master Naturalist comes in there. There's a quilting club that will come in there and meet. So could be a wedding. Basically anything that isn't in the summer or isn't in the school group related. So, and then the commissary sales or the gift shop, it's amazing. Every kid that goes there comes up with cash and buys a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, a book, a hat. It's incredible. Sometimes hard to keep stocked, but the commissary sales are a source of income as well. And then some of the smaller amounts or the lesser amounts, there's revenue that comes in from the foundation. There could be a grant that might have been written. There's an environmental trust fund that the county has. There's a story behind how the county acquired those lands. But the interest that accrues on that account is given to Long Lake every year. And then just some real small ones. There's an insurance proceeds, dividends. There's milk refunds that they get. And then just any donations. We have, it could be an individual. You know, a couple of years ago, we had the Donald H. Nelson Trust. That was a donation. Minnesota Deer Hunters Association has also given money, just, you know, a flat out donation here, Long Lake. Here's money. So that is it. That is the sources of revenue that Long Lake will get. And I left one out. There's money that comes in with the rental of the executive director's house. Dave is staying in that house right now, but he does pay monthly rent for that house. So that's another source. But otherwise, that is where the income from Long Lake, the sources of income that come into Long Lake.
DJ, do we get anything from IRRB for that?
We do not. Nope, not at this time. I know the foundation has looked at some possible grants for a few different things. But otherwise, in the time I've been here, I don't think we've had anything from IRRR.
Okay, thank you.
So,
DJ, I just have a question about that because I think it was in the Palisade School District,
Which is Aitkin School District.
which is Aitkin School District. So, I
Yep.
mean, they should really fight for some of that because that's a fiscal disparity area.
right, yep. And there is a lot of work being done on that, specifically with Long Lake's capital improvement plan and looking for opportunities to where grant money such as IRRB could come in and help out with that. One of the problems, well, I shouldn't say a problem, but one of the things with the grant money is that a lot of times there's match associated with it.
Yeah.
And a lot of time it can't go for, or not much of it can go for administration. So it's great to get a $200,000 grant to repave the walking trails. But if you need 10% match and you can't pull any of that out for admin, sometimes it's difficult to make those numbers work.
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
any other questions on the sources of revenue? All right, well, we'll move on then. Scholarships. I don't know how the term scholarships, and I put that in parentheses because it's used loosely with Long Lake and with the grants that they get for that, but it's essentially, in a nutshell, it's a contribution that's given to Long Lake that essentially lowers the amount that the student or the schools are required to pay. So, and I'll get into that a little bit more, but the money from scholarships or the scholarship dollars, they can be raised through Long Lake. Long Lake can do some direct fundraising, which I believe this fall they have an annual fish fry. And then there's also scholarship dollars that are given by the foundation. And those could be monies that were raised with the Nature Rocks concert or the fair booth, or wherever the foundation has done its fundraising. So it can be kind of a combination of those two. And then the LCCMR grants, and now this year with the Outdoor School for All. So it essentially, it's a scholarship, but what it does is it offsets the cost that the schools need to pay to come to Long Lake. So Long Lake still receives the full price for their students. It's just that the schools are not paying that full price. So if you look at right now where the rates are for the 2024-2025 school year, which their school year runs September to May. So this 2024-2025 school year has wrapped up already. But the rate per student there was $170. And this, like I mentioned earlier, this is the typical 3-day, 2-night trip at Long Lake. So the 2025-2026 school year went up to $185 per student. So the students that come this fall to Long Lake will be at that $185 per student rate. And then we're looking at a proposed increase of $7 up to $192 for the 2026-2027 school year.
When do you set that?
When? For the next one, that will probably be set fairly soon. That 192 will probably get locked in fairly quickly. But we've been trying to stay where the other environmental learning centers are at. All of them are in that 180 to 190. I think Wolf Ridge is now at 200. Back in 2019, 2020, our rate was 118. So we've tried to stay up with the other schools. If you're too expensive, schools have an option, have a choice to go somewhere else. So trying to keep that base and trying to stay in the ballpark with everybody else is important with retaining the schools that come there. So,
And then I have one more question, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
This outdoor schools for all.
yep,
Now, I know we paid some money for the lobbying.
oh, yep,
We chipped in on that.
yep.
Now, when they pass that legislation, this outdoor school for all,
Yep.
is that very specific in where that money gets spent for scholarships, or does that go, can we use that money for, say, maintenance or hiring somebody else? You
Yeah.
see where I'm going with that?
Yep. It's all in one account, so it can be used wherever the need is.
So they don't have specifics on how it's spent.
It's earmarked for the scholarships. So what it is, and I think I could go back to, actually, I'll go up one. So if you look at for the cost example, so the way that the outdoor school for all and the LCCMR works, if we have 100 students and our rate is $185 per student, that brings our cost up to $18,500. We have transportation costs of $4,500, brings the total cost for that school to send 100 kids to $23,000. Now, let's say there's financial aid. This would be the LCCMR money, or this would be outdoor school for all money. And let's say that they qualify based on need, based on free and reduced lunches, that type of stuff. This school qualifies for 60%. It brings the cost, if they have 60% of it paid for, $13,800. So now the total cost of that school to bring 100 kids to Long Lake is now $9,200. So the outdoor school for all sends Long Lake $13,800, or reimburses Long Lake $13,800, and then the school kicks in $9,200. So Long Lake is still getting its $18,500. However, the school is only paying $9,200 of it. Once that money gets into Long Lake's account, then it can be used for maintenance, it can be used for education, it could be used for payroll. It all sits in one account. There isn't any dollars that are earmarked specifically for maintenance or specifically for this. The budget is developed, and then the costs are just offset from what those revenues are. Does that answer your question?
Kinda,
Okay, yep.
but we'll talk offline more on that.
Okay, yeah, yep. Otherwise, now's a good time to, let's see if I can go back. So what we're looking at with the scholarships, like I said, it can depend and will vary from school to school depending on, whether it's in underserved communities, whether, how many students they have that are on free or reduced lunches. With the scholarships, it allows schools to send more students than what they typically would. The scholarships, a lot of times, can be what is needed to bring a school. I know Dave talks a lot of times to different schools where they say, well, if we had a scholarship, or let's say if we spend, instead of $185 a student, if we could spend $92 a student, we would commit to a trip to Long Lake. And then Dave has the opportunity to look at where they are at and what type of, or how much of a scholarship they would actually qualify for. So there's an application process. So the schools actually have an application that they fill out, and there's some pencil work that's done as far as what that school will qualify for as far as a scholarship. So one of the things that the new LCCMR grant and the Outdoor School for All will add is stipends for teachers as well as help with busing. So that was one of the major concerns that a lot of schools had expressed frustration with, is not having money for buses and not having money to pay teachers to voluntarily take 3 days out of their normal work week and spend 2 evenings up at Long Lake. So one of the things that was added to that, so.
And then one other question, DJ.
Yeah, yep,
Aitkin County,
yep.
we've made the shortfalls up for Long Lake for over the years.
I'll get to that, but not necessarily.
But my question is, do our schools get
Yes,
a break?
yep. The Aitkin County schools, we haven't quite cracked that nut yet. We haven't been able to get them to commit to a 3-day, 2-night. They do come for 2 days and 1 night. But yes, they qualify as well for reduced rates.
Okay, thank you.
So
That goes for the others, sorry, Sheriff.
Go ahead.
McGregor, Hill City,
They are also involved.
yes, yep. So, but yeah, the 2 local school, or the 3 local schools, if I remember right from conversations with Dave, is they typically have not gone for the 3-day, 2-night. It's been shorter trips, so.
Chair, question in the audience?
Oh, yes, ma'am, if you could identify yourself
I'm Kelly.
up at the podium, please. That way everybody can hear you, including the people listening online.
So I'm Kelly Crowther, public health nurse, but I was the district nurse for Aitkin Public Schools, and I've actually gone to Long Lake several times. And the Aitkin County schools actually do go for the 3 days.
Oh, they do, okay.
So they go the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before MEA break, and they've done that for probably at least 4 or 5 years.
Okay, good.
Yep, they all go together. So Hill City, McGregor, and Aiken,
All at once.
all in one.
All in one?
Ah,
Yep.
Okay, thank you for
That's
that
cool.
information.
Awesome.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
Good to
Blends
hear.
in some camaraderie with the
Exactly.
tri-school system.
Now
Thanks
we just
again, Kelly.
need one superintendent.
So the trip costs, I kind of covered that already. If we don't have any other questions on that.
Good.
We'll go on to the 2026 budget. And this was a point of note, or a note here. Like I mentioned before, Long Lake's budget is a separate account. It's the 19 account. And that is, like I said, it's a bottom line. Money comes in, money comes out. It's whatever that balance is at the end of the day, at the bottom of the spreadsheet, that we are concerned about. Up until 2020, that account was not zeroed out at the end of the year. So if Long Lake had a negative balance over the course of the year, it would just roll over into the next year, and they would just start off with that. So there was still a yearly budget that was set, and we'll take a look at some of those budgets over the years. However, like I said, if that account, wherever it was at, it just rolled forward. Auditor had advised the county that they should zero that account out at the end of the year, and that started in 2021. And this is going to be a little bit small to read, but you can actually see starting in 2018, that first column is budgeted surplus or deficit. So that is what was budgeted for Long Lake at the beginning of the year. So when the budget was set for 2018, when they looked at all the revenue and they looked at the expenses, they said, hey, I think we can make roughly $6,000. That middle column then, end of year surplus or deficit, they actually went in the hole. So instead of making 6,000, they ended up losing 65,000. So that ended up carrying over into the 2019 year. So 2019 year started with a negative balance of 65,000. When the budget was done, they figured we'll maybe make about 1,000. At the end of the year, they ended up losing or did not make their 1,000. It was 86,000. So 86,000 goes in, starting in 2020, of course, which was our COVID year. That account at the end of the year was not balanced out. So Long Lake starts the year with a negative $86,000 line in its account. After the budgeting, they say, hey, maybe we can make $16,000 or and then at the end of the year, it was $343. So it was actually in the plus, and it made up for the 86,000 that was in there. So at the year end or the beginning of the following year, in 2020, Long Lake had a balance of $343. That was about the time that we would start zeroing it out. However, we did not feel the need to zero out $343. So now we come into 2021, which is an interesting year, recovering from COVID. There was actually a negative balance of $148,000 that was actually budgeted into Long Lake's account. We budgeted that knowing that Long Lake was going to lose $148,000.
That's what the taxpayers, when we zeroed it out?
Nope, taxpayers haven't paid. The federal taxpayers have paid it, but Aitkin County alone has not.
Okay.
So $148,000 was what was budgeted. The end of the year deficit was actually $106,000. So it wasn't as bad as what we were actually thinking. And now we get into the years where that balance is getting zeroed out. So this is the time when fiscal recovery funds, which was COVID relief money, it was federal, if you want to call it federal taxpayer money. The county ended up getting $3.1 million in COVID relief money, and that money was used then, $106,000 was used to zero out that account. So 2022, another year that we had actually deficit budgeted. We were planning on a loss of $80,000, still climbing out of the COVID stuff. Instead, we ended up losing 113. So slightly more than what we had budgeted for. And then once again, that account at the end of the year gets zeroed out. And it was split between fiscal recovery funds, the COVID relief money paid for some of it, and then a resource development, which is another land department account, paid for the rest of it to zero that account out. So now we start in 2023. We had budgeted a surplus, Long Lake making roughly $5,000. At the end of the year, we ended up with $21,000. So we had $21,000 carrying into the next year. The account was positive at the end of the year. I'll put an asterisk by that because that was the year that Donald Nelson left Long Lake
Nice little windfall.
a substantial amount of money. So 2024 then, we had budgeted roughly a $5,000 surplus. We ended up with $38,000 surplus. And again, there was another distribution from Donald Nelson that came in there as well. So that brings us up to where we are at with 2025. But 2024, we did see a surplus in that account. We started the year with $21,000.
Commissioner Sample?
So
My question to you is, if we wouldn't have had that windfall,
yep,
would have we been in the positive or the negative?
we would have been in the negative.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. So that's where, since 2018, that is where that budget has gone to. Individual, there hasn't been any money that has come out of the county general fund for Long Lake. It's been fiscal recovery fund or resource development account paid for some of that. Resource development does not get any general fund money out of there either. In fact, I just looked over the last 14 years, I think the FTS, the forfeited tax sales, has kicked roughly 1.7 million back to the county out of timber sales and stuff. So otherwise, all right. So coming to the end. So revenue, you can see I talked about that earlier with the bread and butter being those school groups, the non-school groups, and the summer camps. This is what we're looking at. I should preface this. This is 2026 numbers.
Thank you.
Yep. So this is what we're looking at here for 2026. The Environmental Trust Fund interest, you can see that. The scholarships money that comes in from the LCCMR or money that comes in from the Outdoor School for All, roughly 68,000. You can see there's insurance, dividends, proceeds, the milk refund, the rental, house rental income, some of those smaller amounts, and then you have the commissary sales, gift shop sales of roughly 60,000. So if you look at that total, this will be the first time that Long Lake's revenue is projected to be over $1 million. I think last year it was right around 900 and some. And then these are basically what we have for expenses. Like I said, they're split into 4 different sub-accounts, and then there's line items for every item. So I generalized some of the, like office, postage, phone, stuff like that. But you can see that top number, salaries and benefits, $786,000. That includes everything from health insurance to gym memberships to dental insurance to PERA and everything else that goes along with having employees. It represents 3/4 of Long Lake's budget is in salaries and benefits. The next highest item on there is groceries, and then just some smaller categories in there, with utilities being a big one, service, repair, maintenance being another big one, and then just some smaller items that go beyond there. So at the end of the day, the bottom line, we're looking at a revenue of roughly 1 million and an expenses at roughly $1 million. Hopefully we have a profit of roughly $6,000. 2 big schools could cancel and throw all of these numbers out the window. But we could also get 2 new schools and squeeze them in somewhere. So, but that is the last slide that I had. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions.
Commissioners,
Thank you for the update.
I got a question. So with the foundation,
Yep.
must give you a headache.
There's a lot of things in my job that give me headaches.
I get it, but I'm talking about with Long Lake.
Yeah.
Because you have one group going one way.
Yep. One thing about the foundation is a separate entity from Aitkin County, from Long Lake Conservation Center. It is its own 501c3 nonprofit. It is no different than any other nonprofit that exists out in the world. The only thing that separates the foundation from the others is that the foundation in its bylaws specifies that its reason for existence is to raise money for Long Lake Conservation Center in Palisade, Minnesota. That is its purpose and its existence. So when they can raise money and help out with scholarships or help out with other things, it's absolutely wonderful. They're a great foundation. Prior to me coming to the land department, I actually chaired that foundation when I was working with the Soil and Water Office. I helped my Uncle Ross with the golf tournament that they had. So my only complaint with the foundation would be that that it adds a couple zeros to the amount of money that it donates to Long Lake.
About what do they contribute to
It's
on an annual basis?
on an annual, hard to pin a number down, but I know they have offered scholarships beyond what the grants have done, what the LCCMR, and they have helped with other small projects here or there. It's usually somewhere around, I think 50,000 to 60,000 would probably be a safe number.
Okay,
You know,
nice shot in the arm.
yeah, yep. So when you look at other foundation or other kind of, you know, fundraising ends like Wolfridge up in Ely, you know, they have a board or a foundation or a nonprofit that might kick 200,000 or 300,000 into their environmental school. So, but that's where we're going. We're trying to get the foundation to the point where it can start making some serious contributions to Long Lake.
Great. Commissioners, any other comments, questions? Commissioner Westerland?
So, and all the board members are volunteers?
Correct.
Yes.
Yep,
Which is
yep.
great.
Yep, there is, nobody is on the payroll at the foundation.
That's great.
And I mean, my thing is, I love the foundation. I know a lot of them on it, but I just know that that's gotta be hard for you overseeing it.
Well,
You don't oversee it, but at the
right.
same time, you have, you know, I mean, there's great members on that board.
correct. Yep. And there's a fine line there too. So in conversations I've had with the county attorney on making sure that there is a line of separation between the foundation and between Long Lake. So there's definitely a fine line in there. So
And Dave works for the county.
Dave is the manager at Long Lake, yes.
Thank you.
Anything else? Good update. Keep us posted. Hopefully we'll
I certainly will,
achieve
and
that $6,700 plus.
We will.
yep, so,
I appreciate the update or this clarification on how the scholarships actually work.
yeah, yep.
That's appreciated.
Anything else? I ran over.
It was time well spent.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
DJ.
Thanks again, DJ.
Yep.
On to Environmental Services, Andrew Carlster. Welcome, Andrew.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
MOU at Itasca County.
Yes, sir, yep, identical to the one you approved a month ago with Crow Wing. It all stemmed from the unfortunate passing of Tom Epperson, who was an advanced designer that worked in Itasca as well as Crow Wing. So looking for a motion to approve the MOU between Aitkin County and Itasca. This will bring a little revenue, maybe 3 to 5 inspections and reviews annually, so.
Commissioners, you've seen the documents. You've heard the request. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to.
Commissioner Westerland moves approval. Support.
Support.
Motion supported by Commissioner LaBisca. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. MOA is hereby approved.
Okay, thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Andrew.
Excuse me, Andrew, will you be at your office later this afternoon? Okay, I just want to touch base with you, thanks.
On to County Auditor Kathleen Ryan. Welcome, Kathleen.
Hi, good morning.
Good to see you.
I didn't really come prepared, so I got busy budget preparation and kind of spaced out what I was doing. But first thing is the opioid approval. So we got notice that there is additional settlements on the opioids. And so I'm just asking for your approval to allow me to sign as those documents come in so that we can participate in these settlements. We've got multiple others that we're already participating in. The state has agreed to be a participant overall, so then this will allow Aitkin County to access some of those dollars as they're coming through. These are settlement dollars. They are from the companies. They are not tax dollars.
And now, some of these opioid settlements were for long-term, right?
So this is going on for 10 years. We actually, I take that back, 10 or 15 actually. But yes, we will continue to receive payments for that period of time. Yep.
Perfect.
Commissioners, you've heard the request. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Sample moves the motion. Support?
Support.
Commissioner LaVisca supports. Any further comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried. Approval is given.
And then we have the quarterly budget review. I don't have a lot to report. Everything's running right on schedule. Just a note, John did reach out to me, and with his numbers, construction doesn't really hit full speed until July, so you'll notice his construction numbers are a little bit lower, but yet his maintenance is equipment in his other areas higher, and that's because he buys his equipment at the first part of the year. So it's just some of those fluctuations. In first quarter, we talked about some of those other prepaids that we do in the first part of the year, like insurance and items like that that are paid at the front end of the year that kind of shifts some of those percentages. But otherwise, everything is running right on track, and I did not see anything concerning to myself when I was reviewing it.
On a prorated basis, things seem to be right on target for the end of the second quarter. Commissioners, comments, questions? Thanks for that update, Kathleen.
Good job, everybody.
Thank you very much. You guys have a great day.
Keep up the good work. And is Jim going to be here?
I have not heard. I text him to see where he might be. We're running 3 minutes ahead for him.
We made up a lot of time. Kathleen
Good.
saved the day here.
Yes, we did. Carly is here though, if you wanted to.
Switch over to Carly.
Yeah, let's, Carly, if you're prepared, if that's okay, we'll just fast forward here.
Always prepared.
Welcome, Carly.
Thank you. Good morning.
You're on, Carly.
Okay. Good morning. I'm here to present where we're at for Health and Human Services budget as of quarter two. So jumping right into it. So first slide here, we have revenues by department. So our total 2025 revenue budget is $8,319,281. And as of June 30th, we are at 54% of that revenue budget. So, all looking good on the revenue side of things. Public health is coming in at 48% of what was budgeted. Financial services and child support is at 65%. We did have a good first half of the year in collections and recoveries, so that contributes to a fairly large portion of that revenue as of June 30th. And then social services is coming right in at 51% of what has been budgeted for revenues. Revenues by category, so we have 4 revenue categories in our budget. Fees are coming in at 45%. The majority of our fees are actually received in the fall when we do vaccination clinics, and we can bill insurances for that. So I would anticipate that going up in the October, November months. Grants are coming right in at 49%. Other revenues are coming in at 62%. So that other revenues category does include that recovery and collections. And then the levy is coming in at 61%. So that's what's been posted to HHS levy.
So
revenue.
Carly,
Yeah.
the grant portion, who's writing those and where are they coming from, the state and federal? Are
So-
they automatic?
So the grants include state and federal grants and allocations for public
Okay.
health, DHS allocations. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank
So
you.
the public health ones are coming through the Community Health Board.
Yep.
Moving on to the expenditures, so as you can see, our expenditure budget in 2025 is $8,319,281. As of June 30th, we are at 55%. So while that's a little bit over the 50% mark, so is revenues, so it should offset at least at this point in the year. Public health is coming in at 55%. We are spending down that COVID grant, so that's a little bit higher than the 50% mark. Financial services and child support coming in at 56%, and social services coming in at 54% of what had been budgeted for 2025. Expenditures by category, salary and benefits right on with 49% of expended budgeted amount. Communication services, again, coming in at 49% of the budgeted amount. Dues and registration is coming in at 93%. And however, that's at 93%, that is a small portion of our budget. And a good portion of the
It's all prepaid.
memberships are due and paid in that first portion of the year. Utilities coming in at 43%. Professional development is currently at 30%. Hotels, meals, mileage, and gas is at 26%. Insurance is at 100%, as Kathleen just mentioned, that is paid out in the first half of the year. Contracts and service agreements is currently at 70% of what has been budgeted. Again, our out-of-home placement costs is a big portion of that, and that budget is currently at 78% of what we had budgeted for the year. Materials and supplies is coming in at 54%. No capital expenditures have been paid this far. And then other expenditures coming in at 64%. And as you can see, while we have 11 expense categories, we truly have two. The first biggest one being salary and benefits for our employees, and then the contracts and service agreements. So that's just a visual representation of the last slide. And then moving on to show our 10-year fund balance analysis, projected to use zero in fund balance for 2025 budget. And available cash balance as of June 30th is $4,586,031.
Carly, on that line, is any of this going to be attributed to the renovation?
That match has already been taken out of this available
has.
cash balance.
Good
Yes.
to hear.
Yes.
Thanks.
And then just as a summary, at the end of quarter two, we should be about 50% of budgeted amounts. So revenues are currently at 54% with expenditures coming in at 55%. So very close and about washing each other out at this point in the year. And that's what I have for the quarter two update for the Health and Human
Commissioners,
Services budget.
comments, questions? Very good, again, concise report. Good snapshot of what's going on here financially.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Carly.
Thanks, Carly. Oh, Jim's here now.
Jim, you're on deck here. You're up to bat.
Thank you. Sorry, we got a few things going on this morning, so.
Understood, not a problem.
Should be noted.
You're not really busy, are you, Joe?
Is what?
He was
Not really busy, just kind of busy. How's that? We'll go with that. So we have a resolution for the second place that we have talked about leasing for the HHS remodel to move workers. It is the Hugh Heineke accounting office, which is right across from the funeral home. So this has been reviewed by the county attorney, and everything has been approved. So it's just the lease for 1 year, August 1st to August 1st.
Commissioners, we've discussed this before and no surprises, I guess.
I guess I got a question, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Commissioner
Is he
Sample?
gonna be out of there in time for you guys to start moving in?
Yes.
I like this. And it's kind of a trick question because of the facilities meeting yesterday, is why I'm asking that.
He's got a lot of stuff in there, but he's working very hard at it. And really, we've leased these buildings from the 1st of August with that anticipation that there's going to be a little transition between the VFW and with Hugh getting their stuff out, us getting IT work done, going in and cleaning, doing things like that. So yeah, we've got a little bit of leeway, but yes, he will be out. He's finding a lot of stuff from over the years. Let's put it that way.
Thank you.
Commissioners, again, no surprise, you've heard the request. Copy of the contract is attached. along with cost thereto appertaining. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mr.
Commissioner
Chair.
Sample moves contract
Second.
support. Commissioner Westerland?
Yep.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried. Contracts approved. Jim, long as you're, do you want to give just a little update on the facilities meeting yesterday?
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So the HHS remodel, that's one of the biggest things we got going right at the moment. The August 18th, we are gonna start moving people out of the building to these locations, getting stuff ready to go. September 2nd, the day after Labor Day, HHS will start seeing clients in the VFW. So that's the plan. I just talked with Pat Scollard this morning, and we will have at least a couple of STS people, so that's good news, because that's been a little sketchy lately, so that'll be nice to have that extra help at that time. We're starting to work on looking at furniture. Next week, we're gonna start interviewing a couple furniture vendors. And then September 11th and 12th, we will be holding a garage sale to get rid of all the extra old items out of HHS. And we got some in the motor pool, we got some in the other buildings. I will be bringing forth an agenda request before that to get that approved, but we discussed this at the facilities meeting yesterday, what the best way to handle it was, and that was what was recommended. So we are starting to work on that as well. So
Jim, if I may interrupt you, please, can you explain how that garage sale is gonna work for our local nonprofits? Kind of where you're on the mic now.
Yep.
And people are listening, they understand for our nonprofits.
yeah, so and this is from Kathleen, our auditor. Anything that is bought with public dollars has to be offered back for public sale. However, we can offer it to Aitkin County for use in Aitkin County for the business. Then we can offer it to nonprofits and other government agencies in Aitkin County. So April is actually already working on a list of nonprofits we can send out, making sure the other cities, townships in the county are notified of it. They will be given a couple of days to come and look at what we have before it is offered up for sale to the public. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, because that is a good thing to let people know.
Commissioner Carney?
Just for clarification, April will be sending out notices to all the townships, the cities within.
Yeah, within Aitkin County.
Okay, great. Thank you
Yep.
so much.
Yep. So yeah, so that'll be good, because there's going to be a lot of office furniture available. And the last garage sale we had, I know the city of Palisade had taken some stuff. The fire department up in Palisade had taken some stuff that they needed. So yeah, it does help out some of these smaller communities.
So Jim, are you doing it online or it just random show up here and?
Just a good old fashioned garage sale.
Pick
Show
your
up
poison?
and yep, there'll be everything will be.
Whose garage?
Well, it'll probably be in two. It'll be in the Health and Human Services building and the motor pool garage.
Good.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So, yep. I'm sure as you noticed when you walked in this morning, there's a few things going on outside. The roofing stuff is being delivered this morning. Plan was to start tearing roofs off tomorrow. Looking at the weather forecast, that's maybe not the best plan, so we'll just watch the weather and they'll get started as soon as they can. And then the cooler and freezer were taken out yesterday out of the jail kitchen, and the new one is going to be installed today, and anticipation is that that'll be up and running by the end of the week. So.
And we're storing our food over at the high school, right?
Correct. Yep. That was part of the delay. We had to run and get some stuff. So, yep. So yeah, no, everything's going along. There, like I said, there's a few things happening, but it's all good. So. some of these projects have been on the books for a lot of years. So,
Questions?
What did we decide on the boat and water garage? We're gonna start on that in the spring or this fall?
we are going to discuss it with the current admin team, and then we'll bring back the recommendation to the facilities which way we're gonna go with it, so,
Okay. I know we talked about both ways.
yep,
I can't believe it's not up yet.
Yeah,
Yep.
we really need to move on this.
This is crazy.
so,
Jim, thanks for the above and beyond
all right.
report here.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
If I could, I'd like to commend Jim and Kent Olson without having STS during the Fair Week of
Oh,
our facilities people, and Kent really made sure that things were kept clean and kept up at the fair, so appreciate
Thank
all
you.
the work.
Yeah, no, it was a very, very good fair. Kirk and myself, we will be back with a report on this year's fair. And then we're also gonna put together a report of kind of where we've been using our funds, the upgrades we've been doing to the fairgrounds, because we've stuck a lot of money into the fairgrounds the last couple of years. So just to give you an update on that. So thank you for that. It was a bit of a challenge, but we made it.
With that little rainstorm downpour on Friday, I was a little worried. But I think it well made up for it on Saturday,
Yeah.
based on the traffic and the cars.
Yep, it was there were some new events down at the fair this year, some new attractions, and they worked out. There was, I heard a lot of good comments, so,
Rodeo was great.
yeah, good, awesome, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
Thanks.
On to one of our future presentations, Sarah Pratt. Welcome, Sarah. Podium, chair, whatever your preference is.
Definitely the chair today.
And bring the board up to date on what we're all kind of concerned about, mandated versus non-mandated services and the funding thereto appertaining.
Yes, get myself organized a little bit here. So good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Today I'm going to talk with you about the programs in Health and Human Services that are mandated and non-mandated and the cost of those programs and how they affect the levy. So it's a little small on the screen, so we made sure we printed off a bigger packet for you to look at as well.
Thank you.
So you have that in front of you. So I will get started. It's a little bit to get through, so please interrupt me with questions as we go through. So just to note, this is from these numbers are based on our 2024 budget. So just know that going into this. I also want to note, all these numbers were done by Carly and took days and days of her time to do this. And so I want to thank Carly for all her hard work on this before I begin as well. Thank you, Carly. I will focus mostly on the first page, which shows the portion of our budget that is levy dollars and how that is broke down, as well as how much staff time we have associated to each program. So most of my presentation will be focused on this first page. So like I said, this shows the amount of levy dollars in our budget. The rest of the tabs show the full revenue and expenses for our entire budget. So by looking at this page, you can see our total levy cost is $3,205,684. Of that total, $3,014,665 is the cost of mandated services. That is our levy cost. So that is the mandated amount. $191,019 is the levy cost for the non-mandated services. So that is the breakdown between how much levy dollars is mandated and how much is non-mandated.
And Mr. Chair, sorry, Sarah, if I may, just to clarify, in this instance, when we're saying mandated, we are saying statutorily required.
Correct. And if you notice on all of the tabs with the programs, we put the statute associated to that program underneath that program area.
Thank you.
So you should have every statute in front of you as well.
A lot of work.
So again, the rest of our budget is covered by grants, allocations, and reimbursements. We are only showing you the cost. In the summary tab, we're only showing you the county levy cost. The other tabs, again, show the full revenue and expenses. So for example, if you go to page 2 for income maintenance, which includes child support, and you look at child support. This is just the most clear-cut example I can show you. Child support costs us $383,878. The revenue for that program is $337,583. So the cost to the county, to the levy, is $46,295. So I was able to kind of break down that program area for you and kind of show you, here's the cost of the program, here's the revenue, here's the levy cost. So now I'm going to kind of go through each program area in Health and Human Services and show you the cost of the mandated services and the cost of the non-mandated services. And then I will tell you which programs are the non-mandated programs, what revenue we bring in, and why we do those programs. So income maintenance, which includes child support, costs the county $793,969. All of income maintenance and child support is mandated by federal or state statute or codes. And that's all, like I said, if you go to the page 2 mark, please, you will see all of the statutes and the federal codes and all of that in that top column. Family services county costs, so this includes the child protection area. The mandated services cost us $1,092,387. The non-mandated cost us $35,479. Please know I'm not used to saying numbers like Carly, so I'm probably going to slip up on some of these numbers. So the total is $1,127,865 for family services. So what are the non-mandated services in the children's area? We do what's called a parent support outreach program, and that is really a preventative service in which we receive an allocation for. We get about a little over $11,000 for that. And really, if a report comes in that does not meet child protection criteria, this allows us to reach out to those families, offer services, and attempt to prevent them from coming into the child protection system. So most of our non-mandated is the parent support outreach program, but that's really only 3% of our staff time. And there are some other child welfare activities included in there as well.
Commissioner Kearney?
Oh, go ahead, Brett.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask, and how much did that service cost? I'm looking at the screen up here. You get allocated $11,162, right?
Yep.
And what did your services cost? Is it covering the cost is my question, ultimately.
No.
It's not, is it?
No. No.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
Commissioner Sample?
this parent outreach,
Yep.
and I guess this is probably a question for your staff. For every dollar we spend on that,
Absolutely.
what do we feel we're getting back? I mean, are we getting like $4 or $5 for every dollar we spend?
saving.
Yeah.
Is it a good investment, and how do you guys measure your success of the people not returning?
Yeah, unfortunately, Jessie Schultz, the supervisor's on vacation. She's in Alaska. I don't know who approved that. So I would have to talk a little bit more further with her and if we can break down how many families we prevent from getting into the system.
A lot of this is speculative.
Right.
And I get that. I mean, I'm just trying to
No, I understand.
figure out if we're getting more bang for our
Good
buck
point.
by doing this.
You're trying to, what you're asking me, I believe, is if, preventing them from coming into the child protection system,
Absolutely.
going to out-of-home placement, if this program is helping us resolve that issue and save money.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not about saving money, it's about saving
Right.
them.
Commissioner Westerland?
So on the programs in the beginning, the mandated, are we getting any money from the state for those services?
Sure.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing, I think.
Yep.
They're mandating this,
Yep.
and some of them come with money, some of them don't.
Yeah, we do have that broken down in a separate
Okay,
document
and
that we will be able to share with you after this.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure, this is our first time doing this, what you were all looking for, but we do have that broken down in a document that can be shared later.
Yeah, okay.
Commissioner Kearney?
Yeah, I'd like to to bring up, I just got back from NACO, and I sat on the Health and Education Steering Committee, and this was one of the major points that they tried to drive home to the commissioners this year and get it disseminated out to the other commissioners throughout the United States. We understand that budget cuts are coming down, so we need to find a way to accommodate those cuts. And this is a prime example right here of being upstream, fixing the problem before it comes down and we have to be reactive. That's a cost-saving measure. It does cost, and like you said, it doesn't cover the cost, but in actuality, it does, because we're not spending it later down the road. So it's something that we need to really look at.
And I'm so
keep it
happy
in our
to hear
head.
you say that, because I've been saying that, in front of you for how long now? Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you want to pay for the service. Do you want to pay for it on the back end where we know it's going to be more expensive? Or do we want to put a little bit of money into it on the front end to hopefully resolve the issue before it becomes the costly service?
Major discussion on it.
So I thank you very much, Commissioner Carney. I really appreciate that comment.
Thank you, Drew.
So I knew that's more of the breakdown you were gonna want. I just really wanted to show you a high level numbers today and get at what really you're looking for, knowing that we do have a lot of things behind the scenes that we can share with you. So,
That sounds good.
yep. Any other questions on the children's area? Okay. So if you go into behavioral health, $293,186 is mandated. 12,102 is non-mandated, for a total of 305,287. That non-mandated cost is our jail social worker. So that's that person in the jail, the comprehensive reentry. We know how important that position is. Half of that position, or a good portion of that position, is funded through the Adult Mental Health Initiative. So we are receiving some money to offset that cost. But really, we're trying to set up services with those inmates to reduce them re-entering the jail. And so we know the benefit of that program. Adult services, 710,658 is mandated. Our non-mandated portion actually covers the cost of that program plus some. It brings in 19,575,000. So that brings the total cost of that area to 691,083. That non-mandated services, that care coordination, which we contract with a health plan to provide, basically case management services to our over 65 population. And it's just really nice to have that service locally, because our social workers know the community, know the resources, and it's just it's a better service to our community. And as you can see, in 2024, it brought us in money. Public health, $124,466 is mandated, $163,014 is non-mandated, for a total of $287,480. Now, this is where things get complicated, and this is where I've explained this before. What we did is if the program itself does not have a mandated statute to it, we put it in the non-mandated section. However, in public health, through statute 145A, we have to meet those 6 areas of responsibility and foundational capabilities. So even though the program itself might not be mandated, it would fulfill the mandate of that 145A. So when we look, yes, I know it's clear as mud. But when we look at those programs, we look at programs that we can get grants for, bring us in revenue, are a part of our community health assessment, which is a mandated service we have to provide to our community. What are the gaps in our community? So we really are particular in what services we provide to make sure we're meeting all the requirements, we're bringing in revenue, and we're providing quality service to our community. Again, on that form that we will provide to you after this, we will show kind of all the revenue streams that we get in public health, where that all comes from, and what that looks like. Any questions on that so far? Mr. Chair, can I refer to Carly and Aaron to make sure?
Oh, absolutely.
Anything you want to add so far, or? Okay, looks like I'm doing all right. So the next step is I want to talk about the legislative impacts that are coming. So I don't know if you have any specific questions about this in general first, before we get into that.
Again, this is a precursory
Yeah.
presentation. Things are gonna get a lot hotter and wilder as we go on here.
And it's a lot to comprehend. It's a lot of numbers. I'm willing to have some sort of work group session with all of you if you want to sit down and get deeper into it. I just really wanted to start somewhere.
Yep.
So Paul, if you would mind handing those out to the board, please. So I'll start with the state budget. As we know, we were looking at a lot of different
Thanks,
cost shifts coming in '26 that were taken out of the state budget. You don't have any of this, Mark, for this on screen, so, okay. So those cost shifts for '26 were taken out, but what happened is there needs to be a legislative work group developed by October 1st to find savings before the biennium of July 1st, 2027, or we're gonna see some significant cost shifts go back in. And what they're discussing is the portion of the state Medicaid allocation so the state pays a portion of Medicaid dollars for waivers, that some of that shift will come to us instead.
If I could just point out one thing, concern I've got, still have. This will impact our 2026 budget.
Yes.
The fourth quarter.
That's SNAP, Mr. Chair. So I'm talking about the waiver shifts. We'll get into SNAP, but yes, SNAP will affect 2026 budget. So I will talk about that
Okay,
next.
go ahead.
Yep, if you don't mind. Okay, so that's the waiver cost shift regarding the state budget, that we could see some shifts coming back in '27. I don't know the numbers to that yet. Moving on to SNAP. So the document in front of you is a document that references the federal changes to SNAP and Medicaid, the timelines, how they will affect us either financially, staffing-wise, and what we know now. So as Mr. Chair said, in 2020, we will see some costs in 2026. So in 2024, SNAP cost us $240,274. With a federal change of the admin cost share switching from 50% to 25%, Aitkin County will see a loss of revenue of $73,269, which then would be all levy dollars, which would bring our new annual cost up to $313,543. Now, as Commissioner Weedle said, this goes into effect federal fiscal year 2027, so we have to account for quarter 4 of 2026.
Right.
So that total will be $18,250. So that's the part that will affect us in 2026.
And since we're on SNAP, there was a WebEx, you were on, I was on. If you want to expand on that, AMC WebEx meeting, Wednesday, whatever day it was.
So that's some more of what I'll talk about. So we know that, and Jesse Goebel's also here to answer any questions, just in case.
Yeah, Jess, you were on.
Yeah. So work requirements for SNAP are changing. Aitkin County is currently waived for work requirements based on our unemployment rate. With the new federal changes, there is no county that is going to be waived. Only 3 tribes would meet the requirement to be waived. So the new waiver went into effect July 1st, and that goes through June 30th. So that went into effect before the federal change came about. So I'm not sure when they're going to honor that waiver, if we're going to still have a year of that waiver, or if that's going to start effective immediately. Commissioner Carney, do you have?
Yeah, are you talking about the Medicaid work requirement or the SNAP?
SNAP.
It's okay, thank you.
Yep.
And what are the work requirements? 20 hours or something, or?
I'll have Jesse help me with that one.
Okay.
And that's about to
I
change.
can't
Yep.
remember what.
Yeah, that was gonna.
I figured that'd be coming up. Answering some
Have a
questions
chair.
for you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, so currently the SNAP work requirements, if if the county is required to follow those as 80 hours a week. So that can be volunteer time, it can be work. There are people that are exempt from it. So right now there's changes that are going to be
Commissioner
coming.
Kearney?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
80
sure.
hours a month, right?
80 hours a month,
Okay, yeah,
yes.
'cause
Yep,
it's a
so
week, so, month.
equates to 20 hours a week. And it's based also on if they're earning, say, $20 an hour, as long as they're meeting 80 hours a month at the federal minimum wage.
Right.
Which is something like $7.75 or something like that an hour. Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Minnesota's is significantly higher than that, so.
So the new federal change would also remove exceptions for people experiencing homelessness, the veterans, and youth aging out of foster care. So they used to be those three groups used to be exempt from the work requirements. Now with these new federal changes, they will also be required to do those work requirements.
Is that a big issue?
I believe it's about 9,000 cases. Of course, because I carried my laptop up weird, my screen changed on me. So our IT director is gonna yell at me for carrying my laptop weird.
The question I'm trying to get to is that an issue? They're receiving services.
Yeah.
Are they physically capable of doing this, or are we asking too much?
Well, I mean,
I'm being candid here. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on the person in their situation. I think, the homelessness, the population, that would be, I think, difficult based on their situation. I mean, I think, all three of those populations have their own things going on. Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't know how you would.
And don't you think exceptions will come down as the laws come out? I mean, they have already for Medicaid.
Yeah.
Right.
They've made exceptions.
Yeah, and I would say maybe some of these individuals might meet an exception, like
Okay.
mental health, that kind of thing. But like our homeless population, they're very challenging to make sure they're doctoring to meet some of those criteria because they're very transient and, and our like children that are aging out of foster care, they don't have some of the support systems. We were their support system. So there's some unique populations, and I was really sad to see the veterans were in there too. Why aren't we supporting them if they meet criteria? But statewide, that's about 9,000 people that meet those three groups. So,
Commissioner Westerland?
So have they changed? I mean, I think they need to change the criteria of what they can use their SNAP cards for. I mean,
Amen.
they get cash.
cash is separate from SNAP. SNAP is
Okay.
only for food,
Well,
only food items.
Okay, so the EBT card that they can put in the,
So cash programs also go onto that EBT card, so
Right.
like general assistance and MFIP, Minnesota Family Investment Program.
okay.
They also go on to those
So we don't
EBT
even have
cards.
a watchdog to say,
Oh,
they're gonna take that cash, they're gonna buy gas, which is great, but they're gonna buy other things too. And we have no control over that.
I mean, they can take it out at the ATM and,
I know,
That's-
that's what I'm saying, and it's like.
but the SNAP
It's
program
not
is
going to their
not.
kids, it's not going to
Yeah.
who should be getting, I mean, I know, that's
Yeah, SNAP
what they
is-
need to fix.
SNAP is totally for food though, and these
Right.
are just food changes, just the SNAP
The
program.
SNAP program.
Yep,
Thank you.
these aren't impacting TANF or general assistance.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So basically what we wanted to say is typically Aitkin County is waived when it comes to these work requirements. Depending on when they want to start this, we will not be waived.
Right, not anymore. They're
yeah.
scratching that across the board.
Right. So that was the biggest thing I think we wanted to highlight there.
Excellent.
Yeah, those individuals would now get 3 months of food in 36 months unless they meet criteria. So,
Is there a definition for food?
that's.
I mean, that's a broad,
anything that is not pre-prepared at the grocery store, so you can't buy deli food, but you could buy, I don't know, hamburger helper and hamburger, you could buy chips, candy,
basic
pop. You can buy,
commodities.
yeah, when you go grocery shopping, as long as it's not pre-prepared like in the deli area. So you couldn't buy one of those rotisserie chickens or the tuna salad at, Eucra's or Paul Beck's.
okay, just curious, thank you.
So another cost shift that we wanted to highlight that will take effect October 1st of 27 is the state error rate. And so that will be a cost shift to counties. And right now, the state error rate for Minnesota is about 10%. And so the Aitkin share would be $368,104. So there are three buckets of that error rate percentage, 5, 10, or 15. So on your sheet, we calculated costs based on 5, 10, or 15, knowing that right now we're in that 10%.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're in the middle.
Yeah. So we really just wanted to try to give you an idea. And the reason we put it with this presentation is you can see, okay, in 2024, this is what it cost. Now with this, how much more is it gonna cost on top of that?
Right.
So we wanted to make sure you could see those numbers together.
Sure.
Crazy.
And the document I gave you also references some changes to Medicaid, which there's a Medicaid webinar coming up, I believe, early August as well. We're still trying to, figure out what's all going on there, but we have a couple different areas that we put on that document to help you understand.
Commissioner Carney?
Yeah, I'd like to address that real quick. I have to commend Aitkin County because you guys are currently doing this already.
Yep.
You have people that are on Medicaid and they're working at the DAC, they're working at Paul Beck's, a lot of the businesses are having them work. So you've already addressed this issue. So it's not going to be a severe major impact to the ones getting Medicaid that are currently working. It's not even going to affect them all. They won't even know.
Right, for those that are working.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that won't be an impact. It'll be
Right.
to
Because I
those
see a
who
lot
are
of them
not
working throughout the
Oh, yeah,
area,
they're-
so.
Yeah, I would say the majority of the people in this population that we're talking about are the working poor. They're the working impoverished individuals that are out there. They're doing 80 hours a week.
Right.
They just don't make enough money to pay for their own health insurance.
Absolutely,
So, yeah, will it be an impact to some? Absolutely will.
Sure.
Because it's gonna broaden the criteria for work requirements,
Yep.
correct? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's part of the concern is it's gonna broaden that area. And as far as staffing and what that's gonna look like for us, I don't know yet. We're just trying to unpack everything that's coming at us right now, and so I don't really have a number on that. I don't think Jesse really has an idea either yet.
No, and Commissioner Weedle heard or saw my chat. Having changes to our technology infrastructure will be massive. There's a huge amount of workarounds that we have to do because our infrastructure is so old or doesn't work well. So like our Maxa system is a DOS-based system, for those of you that might remember that, the old Oregon Trail. Working on that black screen with the command lines, that kind of thing. It's pretty antiquated. You can ask Chris. They don't even teach it anymore.
Point of order, that's not Aitkin County systems, that's the state of Minnesota.
It is the state of Minnesota system, but it is pretty antiquated. So getting, system modernization is a huge deal for us, and that costs a ton of money to do that too, so.
Right, I believe, Sarah, if I may, Chair, I believe I sent you the platforms from NACO.
Yes, you
and
did.
that is one of the top priorities throughout the United States, is that it's not just Minnesota, it's ancient, it's everywhere.
Yep.
And so it is a major high priority
Right.
item.
It was discussed last session, but then with, the new legislation coming down for child protection, SSIS kind of took precedence, and now SSIS got money, and, so there's just not enough
I
to
think
go
it's
around.
favorable coming this next round.
Yeah, yep.
Seems to be.
Better systems will reduce our errors, which could reduce our error rate for snaps, so,
Yeah.
which would reduce costs, so.
Absolutely.
So that is the presentation. I just want some feedback. Is this somewhat of what you were looking for? Did we miss the mark? I just really wanted to try to at least give you some numbers and have you have time to think about it, or?
This gives us a base. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I think, like you said, this high-level overview is what we really needed, and then if we want to get together with you and break down deeper, I know that you have those numbers you said, so.
Yeah.
This initial kind of report, I think, Commissioner Sample can verify, but I think this is kind of what we were looking for in statutorily required versus non.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you have any questions about the statutes or any of that, but like I said, they're all listed under each program area where the, you know, you can find that statute and read and see what it all entails.
What do you think, speculatively speaking, will be the impact on the budget? Roughly speaking.
Carly, do you have any ideas? I mean, we know where we're at already in 2026 without some of these big changes, so. But I don't know if we have a full picture of the levy increase.
I realize that.
Yeah,
Where are we at so far?
in 26, a little over 16%, correct?
12.76.
Yeah. Why did I think 16? Sounds better, 12.7. Not great, but better than 16.
Yeah, a lot better, actually.
Yeah, 12.76.
Well, given all the changes and everything coming, that's not a terrible starting point.
No,
Well, this
can only
is
get
gonna be a
worse
monumental year,
or better.
that we probably never seen.
Gives us a chance to shine, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, really, I think 26, yeah, we're gonna see some impacts, but 27
Is the major.
is the worry,
If it doesn't change.
right? If it doesn't change. 27 and 28 are gonna be the ones we're gonna see the heat.
And you're seeing things change up at the federal level as we speak. I
They are.
mean, things are being pulled back a little and re-looking at and stuff like that. If I may, Chair, I'd like to expound on these mandated and non-mandated services. There was a 3-hour session there at NACO, and they discussed it at federal level and state levels. And they had representatives from the federal government and the state overall. And what they were talking about is the concern that, well, if it's not mandated, then we're not going to do this to provide the services. Well, the federal government has come down and says, you will provide these services or we'll cut funding at other services. And the states are taking the same stance on that. So that's not an answer for the board to go, well, they're not funded, we're not going to do them. Can't do that.
No.
It's a double-edged sword. They'll cut funding from a different side. So I just need us to be aware
Yeah.
of the ramifications that could possibly happen.
I get that, Commissioner Kearney, but we need to know what's mandated and unfunded,
Absolutely.
and that's where we have to take a hard look at it, you know? And as we can't tax people out of their homes
Oh,
either.
no, absolutely not.
And there are obviously some mandates that are not fully funded.
Absolutely.
But we are required to provide them by statute, and as Commissioner Carney said, we could lose other funding. They could come in and do an audit, they could put us on a corrective action plan. I mean, there's things that they can do that we probably don't wanna
Don't want to go down that road.
No.
But it's not.
so then they are mandated.
They are.
For all
Essentially,
practical
For all
purposes.
practical
Yeah,
purposes. So we just have to be careful and pick which battle or fight we want to fight.
And that's why we need to know what's funded and what's not.
But I think it's important to know too that a lot of this is prevention. And
Sure.
if you don't start when they're
Absolutely.
young, public health we have tons of proof. I mean, you have to prevent things in the jail, things in,
Sure.
the kids, and I mean,
What I was hoping the biggest thing that you could get out of this presentation is that the cost of our non-mandated services is nothing.
Yeah.
Really, in the scheme of our $8 million budget.
Right.
Those mandated services, honestly, we can't touch them, in my opinion. I mean, we are required to provide them. Whether they come with enough money to do the service or not, we are required to do them.
and they're
So-
so intertwined.
Right. So that's what I was hoping that you would see is that, this is what mandated services cost us. We can't really do much about those services unless we can find more funding sources. Here are non-mandated services. This is what they cost.
Absolutely.
And jumping ahead, the bottom line, what type of a levy does the county board want to employ? It's a rhetorical question. I don't need an answer now.
Well, yeah, we've got to look at the whole budget.
That,
I don't want to answer that.
that's gonna be a critical factor this 2026 fiscal year, perhaps worse on. But just dealing with the thing imminently ahead of us. How high do you want the levy to go? Give it some thought. Budget committee's definitely gonna have their work cut out for them. And we may have to engage by statute, the HHS Advisory Committee. I think their primary statutory function is to guide, give recommendations to the board on financial matters. And we may want to really use them in terms of whatever discussion ensues.
And honestly, I mean, I know this might not be the most popular statement, but it's really an honest one, is, you know, if we can find ways to have more prevention services to reduce those costly costs of out-of-home placements and people in, you know, regional treatment centers, that's where we should be going, in my opinion, is to try to find ways to offset those costs. That's where we need to hit it. And we need to be at the legislature talking about these numbers. I mean, that's the other
Absolutely.
thing, you know.
You just hit the nail on the head, is that's why to me it's important that we know what's unfunded mandates. And then we need to be down there talking to the legislatures.
Why aren't they funded?
Why aren't these being funded?
Absolutely.
Or maybe we spend our tax dollar in preventive versus it'll save us in the long run, maybe not right away, but that's where we need to identify.
Yeah.
And we need to do our due diligence and go down.
So what I'm hearing,
And talk to our elected officials down there.
so what I'm hearing from the board is you want to know what mandated services, how they're funded, and what that looks like. Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
And obviously, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Sure.
There's a cost to both. And as we go through this transition of preventative versus curing, to what extent can we afford to do both simultaneously?
Right.
And this is gonna be a crucial question for the Finance, the Budget Committee, and ultimately to the Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Chair, may I say one more thing about that?
Absolutely.
I just worry if we consider cutting our prevention services, we are gonna see those reactive services increase. So
Yeah, it's a balance, and we understand that.
I just worry about, you know, how we look at, how we look at that.
And I don't think anybody disputes that.
Right, no, I guess I just wanted to bring it home.
Anything else? Great report. You really opened up a can of worms here.
Yeah, I was thinking I probably would.
Well, needed to be.
Thanks to you and your staff too. I mean, my gosh.
With all these words.
Yeah, Jess, Carly, Aaron,
I know other counties are like, how can we steal those people? They're so good.
Just one last thing, if you don't mind, Mr. Chair, I, do have some flyers for our move. If commissioners would like those, to hand them out to their
and
communities.
that was a great idea.
So, yeah,
Good idea.
so. just wanted to
Commissioner
make sure-
Carney?
Yeah, just for clarification, I have on my calendar here, ice cream social. Is that correct? Is that still going on?
No,
Does anybody know?
I think they changed it because of the weather.
Did they cancel?
Oh, it's changed to a root beer.
Root beer float.
social
Oh,
now.
Okay.
yeah, that's right.
Then I missed that.
30th.
No, there's two different ones we have. The health promotion team is doing an ice cream social. Yeah.
Is there anybody who can speak to that? The 23rd? Yes. Thank you.
Tomorrow.
It's on my right date, so. Like I need it, but.
Mark, are you,
Everybody
catching this for the, economic development meeting tomorrow? What time did you say? 2:30?
2:30 to 3.
They don't miss a meal, do
Commissioner
they?
Weedle, I think that we need to go down and test that ice cream.
I think so too.
I'll be sure to get you out, sir.
Thank you.
Or we could just move the meeting to the ice
Down
cream.
there.
There you
They could
go.
just
And then I gotta
deliver
keep
it.
Working on my Maui body.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you, Mr.
Thanks
Chair and
again,
members of
Sarah.
the board.
Peace, Sarah.
Carly, Aaron, Jess, thank you. Would you guys like to take a little break?
Sure, please.
Okay, let's take a 10-minute break.
Do you need it? That's all I have is record. Oh, no, I have mints.
We'll reconvene the meeting. On to item 9, County Engineer John Welly. Welcome, John.
Good morning, thank you. I'm just gonna go through this quickly. I see I'm already supposed to be completed with the report, so I'm gonna try to get it done as quickly as
Raining out,
possible.
there's nothing to do anyway.
I do have a couple of extra reports if anyone wants them, otherwise the reports were mailed to
I got
all of the commissioners.
I haven't gotten mine yet.
I got mine yesterday.
McGregor, post office.
My father-in-law stole mine.
And by the way, John, this is awesome.
So yeah, this report it's required by the MnDOT State Aid Office. All counties are required to put together this report. Sarah Olson and Carol Johnson in my office pretty much solely do the report. It's not an easy task to track $10 million of expenditures and the corresponding revenues every year, but they do it and they do an outstanding job of it. And it all culminates in this report. So I'm very briefly gonna go through this report. 90 pages of numbers is really difficult to dive into in a presentation like this. So I'm more just gonna cover a few of the sheets and explain what's in this report, so you know the information is there. If you want to look further into the information and talk with me at a later time about it, there's a lot of good information here, but it's just too detailed to cover in a presentation like this. So the first page, I just want to cover, it's page 1, the summary. This just summarizes our work during 2024. You can see the top part there talks about our maintenance costs. The roads that we maintain are divided into 3 categories: the county state aid highway outside of municipalities, which are called regular, this regular system. The second system is the county state aid highway municipal, which is within municipalities, and then lastly, just our county roads that don't receive any state aid funding. So you can see those 3 categories of the maintenance there. The mileage and the total cost of maintaining those systems are listed. If you do the math, you'll see that on our CASA regular system, it costs a little over $8,000 per mile to maintain that system. The CASA municipal, a little over $16,000 per mile. And the county roads, again, just shy of $9,000 a mile. These amounts per mile, they'll vary from year to year based on what work we did in that particular year. So you can't really take too much from last year. Those costs were lower for county roads. Why did they go up? Well, we just did more work on the roads this year. So the bottom part of this page covers our construction. Oh, before I go into that, the maintenance, if you go to pages 12 through 16 of this report, all of those totals there, the total maintenance costs will be broken down probably in more detail than you want, but the details are all there on pages 12 through 16 for any road. The roads are all listed there by number, so you can see costs associated with any road that total to those numbers that are shown on this page. The construction numbers then, again, we have different categories of construction. Our biggest category is our construction on our CASA regular program. You can see that total about $2.7 million in 2024. These costs include contract payments, right-of-way payments, engineering costs, costs that we pay utility companies to move their utilities when that's our cost. So this is just the overarching cost that we spent on construction projects in 2024. Going a little further down there, you can see the bridge construction, a little over $2 million. We are heavily into bridge replacement now, so that's a fairly significant number. Not much in 2024 on county roads, and then just a miscellaneous category that covers some highway safety improvement projects, trail projects, that sort of thing. So all totaled, you can see that we spent about just shy of $5 million on these projects in 2024. It was a light year. The reason it was a light year was with the with the main highways through Aitkin under construction last year, we actually had to delay a couple of our projects. So we didn't have adjacent routes that were carrying that traffic also closed to traffic. Now this year, we do have those routes closed. So County Road 5 through Kimberly, County Road 54 north of Aitkin, they're both closed as the bridges are getting replaced at those locations. So the last thing I want to say about these construction costs is if you go to pages 17 through 20 of this report, you'll see a summary of those different systems, those different categories of construction, and you'll also see a sheet for each project that itemizes the costs that were paid in 2024 and for what those costs were. There's a total of 34 projects that we spent money on in 2024, and obviously we didn't construct that many projects, but any given project, the planning for it starts 5-6 years before construction, and then, carries on even getting all the final paperwork a year or two after. So really, a 6 or 7 year time span of projects. So that, that explains why we've had expenditures on 34 projects total, even though, in the typical year, we construct anywhere from 5 to 10 projects. So the next page I wanted to cover is quickly just page 2. This is just another summary of activities. Under number 1 there you can see the individual construction projects that we did in 2024. Number 6 there is actually redundant with number 3. That was an error that we didn't catch. Number 2, 3, and 4, those are the same maintenance costs that I already talked about. And number 5 is capital outlay. This is money that we spent in 2024 on capital-related items, not roadway capital, but facility and equipment capital. You can see that we spent $811,000 on equipment. That was primarily, we took delivery of our 4 Western Star tandem truck chassis that would subsequently be outfitted with snow plowing equipment. Those 4 chassis cost about $554,000. We also did a lot of replacements in our pickup truck fleet. We purchased 5 pickups that cost a total of $236,000. And you can see the other minor capital outlay items there we had there in Palisade for the cold storage and fuel tank. Then on to page 3, which is our financial statement. Just wanted to quickly cover this. You can see at the top, that top bold number, our cash balance at the end of 2024 was $3.8 million. If you go down, it lists out like a typical financial statement does, assets, liabilities. Right after that, you'll see the fund balance. So at the end of 2024, we have an unreserved, undesignated fund balance of $3,392,000. And that number also shows up at the very bottom of the sheet. So this is the number that we track. We try to keep our fund balance between 3.1 and 3.8 million based on county policy. So we're right in the ballpark there with our fund balance at 3.3 million at the end of 2024. Pages 4 through 7 all are just support for that financial statement. So I just wanted to go to page 8 and just talk for a minute about this. There's a lot of sheets here on page 8. I think there's 16 sheets that talk about all of our fixed assets that we have in the highway department. We have a lot of equipment, and it's all listed here. There's a lot of information here about the equipment, about the cost when it was acquired, the cost to maintain it, the income, or I should say the revenue that we earn when we charge this equipment to road maintenance through our cost county system. It's all there on pages 8-1 through 8-16. And I'm not going to say any more about it other than to let you know that information is all there. Then on page 9 is a listing of our fixed assets. You probably know that we have 6 maintenance facilities located throughout the county, so those facilities are all listed here. We also own a couple of other properties, a couple of gravel pits, a couple of wetland restoration sites, and they're also listed on this sheet. Pretty scant information, but you can see the acquisition costs of those assets. And then finally, on page 10.1 and 10.2, these are the last pages I want to cover. This is just another statement of revenues and expenditures. So I want to start on page 10-2, which lists our expenditures. You can just go down there and see all of the different categories of our expenditures from our administrative staff on the top. That's just the county administration, the county highway department administration staff in the Aitkin facility. The second category is our engineering staff. Third category is our maintenance staff, and then into capital infrastructure, which is our road construction program. And then our equipment and facilities, so you can see all of the different categories of expenditures totaling $10.9 million in 2024. On the left side of this page then, page 10-1 lists the corresponding revenues at just under $10.9 million. And again, that ending fund balance of $3.392 million shown on the bottom of page 10-2. So that's really, that really summarizes what's in this report. You can go into it as much as you want, and if you have any questions in the future, as you go through it, feel free to contact me and I'll try to answer. I may have to get clarification from Sarah or Carol, but I'll do my best to answer. And Mr. Chair, if I could just have a motion to approve the report.
Yep, Commissioners, you've heard the recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Sample approves approval of the report. Support?
Support.
Motion supported. Commissioner LaVisca, any discussion? Great report on behalf of the board too. Big thanks to Sarah and Carol for all the work they do. This is highly specialized.
Yeah.
And Mr. Chair, if I may?
Yeah.
Hey, John, your crew out of that McGregor shop, I've heard nothing but compliments on. Them guys are some hardworking guys, and your guy on the backhoe going around, you guys got it way out there, unplugging culverts, getting plugged by beaver dams, backing water up. They're the unsung heroes. You got a great staff, Butch, all of them.
Certainly do.
Thank you.
And-
Make sure to pass that along.
Thank you.
And
Any further
You are
discussion?
absolutely correct, by the way.
Call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
John, how's that 54 bridge doing?
Well, it's under construction. Like I said, the bridge is closed to traffic. We drove 150-foot piling earlier this week, so we were happy that it didn't have to go any deeper than that. But yeah, it's going well. So if we could just get some dry days now and some sunshine, it would help us. So,
A lot of big boom trucks around town.
yeah, there's a lot of cranes.
With this elevator going up and the water tower going up.
Yep.
That's been kind of a fascinating project to follow.
And as of this morning, Burlington Northern is working over on their crossing on County Road 28, so
Good.
that's closed off. So yeah.
Heard the PSA on that. Unfortunately, the radio announcer had no idea where Trunk Highway 210 was, so. What can I say? Thanks, John. Good report.
Thanks.
On to administration, economic development. Mark.
Yes, thank you. Our first item, we have approval of the data practices revisions and fee schedule. Changes to that data practice policy were submitted from department heads, reviewed by county attorney. He has reviewed and approved all the revisions. We do have a red line policy in there for you guys to take a look at. But we are just looking for approval of those data practice policy revisions. There were a total of 5 on the data practice policy revision that was there. And then also the fee schedule had some addition and changes on there. I did go through that, and if there's any questions on what the fee is, what it was, if you have questions on that, I do have that information in front of me. So if you want to talk about that offline or.
Yeah, commissioners?
So,
I'll talk to you offline.
perfect.
Barring any questions, you've heard the request. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Motion to set effect on the floor by Commissioner Westerland, support.
Support.
That motion supported by Commissioner Sample. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it. Motion prevails and the revisions are officially adopted. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah. And then just a couple of county administrative updates, if we can, before we get into the final thing of 10C. We did receive, and I think you were sent that on the AMC notice, that our NACO counterparts gave us an achievement award for
did?
the county community and connection with the revitalization program and the podcast. We did submit a proposal to them to show what we've done with that, and it was a national award there. Didn't win best in class, but it got an award. I don't know if they patted you on the back, Commissioner Carney, while you were there or not, but.
No, you'll probably see it during,
Travis and
you'll
Brett,
see it
they've
during
all been
AMC
there.
probably. I
Yeah.
think AMC picked it up.
Yeah,
All
they'll,
three of you have been there.
they'll be
That's
doing
great.
press releases so we can share with,
Right.
with the local residents and staff for that. So pretty cool on that. Reminder, July 31st, you have a committee of the whole meeting. We do. Coming up, it should be on your schedules. We're gonna talk about the shoreland ordinance, and that'll be there. Next Thursday, that same date, I'm gonna give a presentation at the Lake Summit meeting with Patrick Murphy. We're doing a little bit of a naturally better presentation, Commissioner Sample, for you.
Cool.
So we'll be doing that at that meeting.
Really better.
Other than that, we have upcoming, I'll be putting in front of you for approval, the adjusted developer agreement for our development out here on Bunker Hill. Getting the correct dates on that. They are still scheduled for that week of August 13th to break ground and do all the closings on that, so we'll have that.
I presume it
Groundbreaking.
passed the city council last night.
Yes, I did not hear a no. Jeff
Okay.
was gonna let me know if it didn't go through, but. So we'll have that in front of you at the next board meeting. It's
Great.
just date changes to match up with what they're doing, so.
Right.
And we'll go from there. Any questions for me? We did
Commissioners?
not have a meeting yesterday, so everybody was pretty busy. But we will have meetings again, so, perfect.
And it appears our new administrator should be on board early September.
There was
That's
a
correct. And
text
he
sent.
gave his, he
Thank
gave
you.
his notice. He just texted me.
Oh, yeah.
I had
Wow,
Mark
how special are you?
and Bobby, just for peace of mind, text them as soon as the consent agenda was approved. Just for peace of mind, that now it's all
The
official.
fingerprints?
I haven't
Are
heard.
we sure they're real?
Commissioner Carney, so since that text has been sent, he said that he's put in his notice in Pine?
And that was the reason to
Yeah.
give him the official notice.
September
Who
8th,
am
if
I?
everything works as scheduled, so that's the
Great.
starting date on the contract. The last item I have is the addition of 10C, a late arrival, looking just for application for exempt permit for the Rough Grouse Society, Aitkin chapter, doing their gambling permit application for an event they're having on September 11th.
Happens every year. Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Commissioner Carney moves, support?
That was
Or,
Brett.
oh, I'm sorry.
You just gave him a compliment.
Commissioner Sample moves. Or you
I'll
did.
support it. We're
Commissioner
good.
Carney supports. Yeah. Discussion.
Used to be in first.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion's carried.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Commissioner updates.
On to committee updates. Lori, you wanna kick her off?
Sure. So I attended the Northwoods ATV Alliance meeting. I didn't even know her. She sat right in front of me and she said her name was Carrie and we were talking and talking. Here's Carrie Heitzman. I'm like,
Oh,
why didn't you tell me your last name?
that's Senator Heitzman.
Yes.
Yes.
Senator.
Oh, I should have, yeah. Anyway, great conversations. Gosh, there's just so much going on. We finally got some trail maps and it sounds like they're not some of the spots that they have on them aren't even there, so I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway, hopefully, we're gonna try to do a kickoff this spring and do a Northwoods open house. Tentatively, we talked about the 10-15, but I think at 10-15, but they're gonna have to wait till spring. It's just, they're not ready. Got updates from just about everybody. Our sheriff was there, and he talked about that he is the chairperson for his new, or for the new Sheriff's Association ATV person. They're gonna try to work with the DNR, with everybody they can get to work with them to get this ATV statewide the same.
Yes.
So everybody has the same rules, and that should have been done years ago. But he's, sounds like he's really large and in charge, and I'm glad to hear that. That was about it for that. I mean, it was a good time. There's a lot of people there. That's a busy committee. And let's see, I also had CARE meeting. We are working on a conference and resource fair. I believe it's gonna be at the 40 Club. It's gonna be September 17th. However, we're not positive yet. We have to get enough vendors to help pay for everything. So we can get out there and get our age well people sponsored well, trying to get the hospitals involved. Amy will be coming to our board to discuss the allocation. With the 3 new vans going, and trying to save Aiken County money also, because they really don't have any transportation. People are being left at hospitals and trying to find their own rides home. You know, appointments outstate. It's a lot. It's a lot of, we do have a lot of money. Well, we don't have a lot of money left, but for the vans, we got, they're all gonna be in the parade this week at the Riverwood Boat, parade. I think that's about it.
3 vans?
Yeah, well, they have the van, and then they have 2 smaller, like, escapes, and is that what it's called? Ford Escapes. So, yeah. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Lori. Travis?
Yeah, I'll start with the fair. I got a chance, me and, Representative Creasha was in town on, Thursday and helped to judge the 4-H
good.
costume,
That's
4-H
awesome.
costume contest.
They should have dressed him up.
So, that was fun. Again, as Commissioner Carney, I'm sure remembers when we did it the last time, those costumes get pretty creative and it's really fun to watch what the kids do with them. And then I worked the parking gate from 2 to 4 on Friday, and we all know what happened during that time. So
Rain.
I got a little bit of rain.
Just a little.
But on the plus side, I guess anybody that came to the fair during that little time frame got in free parking, so. And then,
An umbrella? They didn't have the umbrella chair out there?
they did, but I learned that an umbrella does not work well when the rain is coming horizontally.
I know. You gotta take it out and hold it.
And then we had a library board finance meeting. So they were looking initially at a like 5.5% budget increase for the library. We had a lot of discussion. They had asked to bring different options. So the options that we reviewed this last meeting were a 5% increase, a 2.5% increase, and a 0% increase. So we looked at all those numbers with myself and Commissioner Nelson, new commissioner in Pine County that's on the board now. We kind of led a discussion that made a few changes budgetarily. Commissioner Nelson thought that the 0% one would needed a little more discussion, and I backed him up on that. So what we have approved so far tentatively through the finance committee to go to the full board is a 0% library budget increase, which in turn cuts hours for open hours for libraries across the entire network. However, that also allows county boards to make their own decisions on if they want to purchase extra open hours in the library. And per our discussion, I think that's a good precedent to set. It can be up to the county boards if they want to increase their hours of library operation. Rather than saying, we need $14,000 more from Aitkin County so everybody can stay open the same.
And what is
So-
the $14,000 for?
And it's just like anything else, most of their budget increase is administrative.
Right.
Cause I mean, the, just like with our departments, I mean, the employees are the
Salaries.
direct resource. So with a 0% library budget increase, we would actually be looking at $14,000 less of an ask this year than we had last year. And then with our discussion, if we wanna open up more library hours above that, so. Right now, if we can get it approved by the full board, we'll have a much less ask from our library system this coming year. And that was what I had. Oh, I also was at the ACAT meeting.
Thursday.
Yep, Sheriff Gaida and John gave some good presentations. And then the meeting got a little long, so Commissioner Carney and I decided rather than giving our own little update, we're just in the back for questions if anybody had them, so. Historical Society meeting, they will be requesting the same allocation as last year. They did determine that they don't want to ask for more, obviously, with tight budgets, so.
When is your garage sale coming up?
That is coming up, thank you for that,
August?
Friday, Saturday, coming up, yep.
Good.
It's during the Riverboat Days,
Oh, that's
Yep.
right.
yep, so,
That's a biggie.
yeah, those are my
to do.
reports.
Thank you. Commissioner Carney? I know.
Man, you're gonna give him this, I mean, look at that big head.
Well,
Everybody
he
wants to
represented
be
us in
like-
Washington DC.
Ooh, no, I thought Jim did a great job with facilities. Talking about what was discussed yesterday, the boat garage, the garage sale, what's going on with Health and Human Services. Some of my other meetings I've had, I talked to the Corps on the Big Sandy Lake situation. And the Corps had promised an answer by the end of May, but now we're pushing the end of July. They said it's because they had a lot of people take early retirements and stuff and they're short staffed. But they said they have a counter proposal that they're working on, but they had their change of command down at the Corps. And I don't think people realize this is $1 million, millions of dollars in lots of years in court, depending on if they accept what we want. But they said they're trying to work with us, so I'm hoping that's a good sign. The fair, I got in before the rain and spoke at the veterans thing they had.
Awesome.
That had a great turnout. And there was a World War II 102-year-old veteran there.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
was on
And
TV.
that guy's in better shape. I was like, wow, man, what are you eating, dude? But I thought that was awesome. The other thing on a personal note, our annual come shoot against we changed that, come compete
Yeah, we don't.
against your elected officials will be on the 20th of September. And they'll also have a Kids Day in October and a Handicap Day in October. That was just on the personal note that you're all invited to attend to come compete against the elected officials on the 20th of September.
I'll beat all of them but you.
I can't shoot.
What are we shooting?
22 rifles, 22 pistols. They already told me I can't compete.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to compete yet.
Thank you, Commissioner Sample. Commissioner Carney?
Yeah, a great NACO conference. I have to say, a lot was accomplished. I brought back pamphlets and papers. I'll get them out of the car today and put them on the thing in there that you, for your respective committees, you can pull up your pamphlets, whether it be agriculture, health and human services. As I stated, I said on the Health Health Services and Education Board Steering Committee, and I already briefed pretty much what we went over. And then I also said on the attended the Veterans Committee meeting. I was happy to hear that this year's focus is two major items that Commissioner Sample had brought up the last time he went out to NACO, and they are the two top platform items is veterans homelessness and mental health. Those are the two things that they're going to drive home this next year for funding, for allocation, for facilities to be built because of the need is so much there. If you guys want to talk about anything else at NACO, I'm happy to discuss. Travis already talked about ACAT. Mississippi Headwater Board was canceled due to no movement other than the fund allocation to Aitkin. They took care of that by a vote by email. Yesterday I spent all day up at Mountain Iron. We hired a new executive director for AOA. His name is Mark. He actually is kind of small world as I was out at NACO in Philly, and he runs the Children's Museum out there.
Oh, my gosh.
And I went to see the Children's Museum when I was there. I didn't run into him, but he has relocated to Cook County, or Cook, yes, and has bought a house on Lake Vermilion. Is that right? And we selected him to take over the executive director yesterday. He'll do that in a month. Scott is retiring.
Oh, he is?
Yes, he is. That was 11 years.
Great guy.
Yeah, very good.
Well, he worked for
This individual is a, do you guys remember Pep Boys?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, he was the one, back during the Rodney King, he had California second, and of course, many of them were burnt down during the riots and everything. Well, he rebuilt that, and he became the national director of Pep Boy, you know. So very, very attuned businessman. I can't think of his last name. His first name's Mark. I can get you his name.
He's got to be good, right, Mark?
Yep.
Other than that, I think that's all I have so far. Oh, I did want to add one more thing too. As AMC District 1 Director, I wanted to make everybody understand that when I go to their meetings, when I go to their functions, it's all funded by them. There's no cost to the county, so we just want to get that out there so that there's no cost to us for that.
I just have one question for you. So the vets are talking about homelessness, and what else?
Mental health.
And are they putting the drug abuse?
Well, that all plays into the mental health.
That all plays to the homelessness and the mental health.
Brett was very eloquent, and I'm not just patting him on the back, but when he did go out to NACO at Washington, he brought that point up because what were some of the items they were talking about? They were talking about, and these are not items that are to be downplayed, but harassment, sexual harassment, having problem with TRICARE, stuff like that, all viable things, but our major issues, and Brett was very good and eloquent to bring it up, that we need to pound this. We need to find housing for our veterans. Our veterans are dying in the street. They have drug, alcohol, chemical dependency problems, which contribute to
Because we've asked 17, 18, 19-year-old kids to do stuff that we'd never want to do or never see.
And they're your homeless now.
And they're willing to stand on the street and they can't forgive themselves. So how if they can't forgive themselves, how are they productive members of this society? They turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs, And if they can't forgive themselves, they live on the street. So when we look at a veteran living on the street and we tell them,
There's a reason.
hey, get off your ass and get a job,
Doesn't work.
that doesn't work because they don't even feel like they're worth it. And that's why we have 22 veterans a day in this country committing suicide. And we're better as humans.
We're better as a country.
We're failures as veterans by not picking up our brothers and sisters and just saying we're too busy, not taking the time. So, and there's no money tied up in it.
No.
You know, you go to the VA, we'll give you pills, go home. So.
That's my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Towards zero death met, fairly brief meeting. Through a grant, we'll be getting new school crossing lights here, bigger and better. Year to
I
date,
didn't know we had any.
yeah,
Right, the main section.
right out here.
I'm teasing. Well, you never, you know.
Always bigger, brighter,
Yep,
better.
Yep.
Year-to-date deaths are down by about 50 from last year. And last year was down from the previous year. So hopefully something is working. People are wearing their seatbelts, reducing their speeds. Hopefully that trend will continue. That pretty much summarized the TZD meeting. The Aitkin County Water Planning Task Force met. The Dam Lake culvert is in process. Brett, I think, or Travis, that's your district, so.
They're just like his kids.
And John Welly is helping out with that project as well. And then the feature presentation was Andrew Carlstrom. And he spoke on the shoreline management ordinance issue. Gave a really excellent presentation. And along that line, I'm sure I'm not the only one. You've probably all received emails.
47.
47, yeah.
I'm closer to 80.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Good.
That's because you're the chair that
Yeah,
don't
you're
know
the
our
chair.
names, Dad.
And it was addressed to all the commissioners and Andrew. Therefore, I didn't forward anything.
Nope.
It was a boilerplate email, primarily from Aitkin County residents, some were not. But Andrew, and I think everybody got it, outlined some of the disparities of their concern. Okay, this is inaccurate, that's inaccurate. This is not being proposed, this is not being changed.
Yeah.
And we've got our committee of the whole meeting on the 31st.
Yes, sir. I got some questions on that, but.
This is not a public hearing. Public,
But we will let them speak.
public comment will be allowed.
Yeah.
But as this proceeds, it'll be remanded, I believe, back to the planning commission. And the planning commission will have a public hearing. And subsequent to that, if it comes to the county board, I believe the county board will have a public hearing, or at least have the option of a public hearing.
I've been inviting everybody to come to the committee of the whole meeting. Just, if you have a voice, I've had phone calls and all of that. And my response to them is if you have a concern, come to the committee of the whole meeting.
And my thing is, I'd like to have Andrew read that letter because it's like the chain letter, but I would like to see then Andrew, after he reads that letter, go back with his response that he sent out in that email.
And I talked to Andrew a couple times this week, and that is the exact chronology of that meeting.
Right.
Andrew will make a presentation. He will outline the issues as he did in that letter, highlighted in red.
Right.
This is true, this is inaccurate, which hopefully will ease a lot of people's minds.
Hopefully I was okay. I was out at NACO when I got the emails. I called him and I asked him to send the email out. Hopefully that was fine.
Absolutely.
I wanted to make sure that they was addressed, so.
And my thing is that, last week, I had Andrew and, Kevin go for a ride around Big Sandy with two of the Shamrock Township, looking at ordinance, you know, their complaints.
Sure.
That you let some people do this and other people can't. But my thing is they were talking, we had a good discussion on this upcoming, and there's so much misinformation out there that it's got people worked up in a tizzy because.
Well, and I think we have some naughty people that are working for these people that, you know, you hire a landscaper or a contractor and they don't care.
No, they're just getting paid.
That's right.
And
So
because they
that's
know it's
very
not
important
their
that these guys are
responsibility.
all part of that.
It's the property owner's responsibility, you know, and it's a shame that the contractor doesn't take a more vested interest in it.
Well, they know. They have to,
But-
they have
but-
to know the rules and the ordinances.
But they were going back and as we were looking at Shoreline, they were talking about the changes to the ordinance. And mainly it's 90% language cleanup.
Right.
We didn't really change much.
So, Mr. Chair, if we want to clarify, Jeannie has no idea what we're talking about. So, you know, the emails that we've received were concerns with one, people thinking that we're going to allow more vegetation removal, which we're not. We're just clarifying the two current options of vegetation removal. Number two, they were worried about us increasing impervious surface, which we're not increasing impervious surface. That's going to remain at 25%.
That's state law.
Yep. We're increasing the building size on a lot from 15% to 18%. But the impervious surface is remaining at 25%. And the third concern was allowing sand blankets, which we are not proposing to allow sand blankets. So there's the three clarifications on the issues.
Yeah. And I think that will diffuse.
Yep.
And put a lot of people's minds at ease.
Right.
And that's why I want Andrew to kick it off with that.
Yep.
And again, it's not an official public hearing.
No.
But yes, public comment will certainly be allowed.
And I think it's a great opportunity. It will get the correct information out there.
It's a good venue for that. As we did in the last committee of the whole meeting pertaining to the same or a very similar issue.
The sewer stuff. Septic.
I just wanted to touch on that.
Yeah.
And I'm between 70 and 80, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
that I've gotten so far at all
You're just a popular.
identical boilerplate.
56. My question, Chris. They are, well, we can adjourn first.
Well, one thing on TZD, the protests downtown, if anybody's familiar,
Yeah.
this has been going on all summer. And they're at the main intersection. The Aitkin PD are monitoring it very closely. They have a right to do what they're doing, but there are pedestrian and traffic safety concerns involved.
Right. Or have we had any incidents?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Dale Luke
Who's
posted on
protesting?
Facebook.
I don't recognize any of them,
No. Really?
really.
So they're from,
Well, I'm not
Well,
saying that, I'm just saying I
we
don't
don't know.
recognize.
Don't recognize them.
I have seen a couple of locals from time to
Have
time.
you?
But
do you know
Hey,
what they're protesting?
More power to them.
not really.
A lot of different things.
Different things.
Oh,
The federal
stuff.
emails, yeah.
But the concern is they're intimidating people from going into the businesses.
Yeah, that's my concern,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, is that if it's intimidating people to not go downtown and visit our retailers, but the Aitkin Police Department is working really hard to make
Yeah,
sure
they
that
are.
doesn't happen, so.
Well, and
And
also, I don't
parking.
believe there's any intent to intimidate. It's just I think the optics of it.
people just.
Well, the optics, and when you've got so many people standing on a street corner, it's intimidating to
Right.
walk through it.
Yeah, correct, they're not doing it on purpose.
Right,
It's
it's
just
the-
that
yeah.
feeling.
Just an update. Anything else? Not
Motion to adjourn.
Commissioner Westerland moves adjournment, support.
Support.
support Commissioner LaVisca. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Meeting's adjourned.